Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.
Welcome back to AI Hub, everyone. I'm Larry. And as always, I'm super excited to unpack some fascinating stuff with you all. Today, we're taking a look at Elon Musk's AI company, XAI, and their quest to, kind of shake things up a bit in the AI world.
Hey everyone, I'm Amanda, and I'm all about understanding the why behind the news. And there's a lot to unpack with XAI, especially with this recent TechCrunch article you sent in, Larry.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, this company just raised a whopping $6 billion in Series C funding.
$6 billion. Whoa!
To put that into perspective, Series C funding means they're past the proving themselves stage and ready to really scale up, and $6 billion.
That's got to be some kind of record, right?
That's not just chump change, even for big-time tech companies.
Yeah, that's not just some angel investors throwing spare change at a cool idea. We're talking major players like Andreessen Horowitz, BlackRock, Fidelity. These are giants in the investment world, and they're clearly betting big on XAI. But what does this cash injection actually mean for XAI?
Well, think of it this way, Larry. Imagine having $6 billion to build your dream team, stock up on the most powerful computers, and just go all out on your research. That's the kind of firepower XAI now has. To take on the established players like OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft, this isn't just about catching up. It's about aiming for the top spot in the AI race.
Okay, so they've got the cash and they've got the ambition, but what are they actually building? The article mentions a chatbot called GROC, and it's already live for some X Premium subscribers, X, the platform formerly known as Twitter.
Right, GROC, and it's being positioned as kind of a rebel in the chatbot world.
A rebel?
Yeah. While a lot of other chatbots are designed to be super cautious and, politically correct, GROC is supposed to be more outspoken and truth-seeking, at least according to the article.
Truth-seeking. That's an interesting choice of words. It definitely seems to play into Musk's whole persona of pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo. But it also raises some questions, doesn't it? Like, how does an AI define truth in the first place?
Exactly, and that's what makes GROC and XAI in general so intriguing. They're not just trying to build another chatbot. They're trying to build an AI that reflects a very specific vision. It's almost like they're trying to create a digital version of Musk himself, which could be both exciting and a little unnerving.
For sure. And the article mentions that GROC is already evolving rapidly, adding new features like search and the ability to summarize news articles.
That's a big deal, Larry. If GROC can access and analyze information from across the web and then present it to users in a concise and understandable way, it could change the way we consume information entirely.
So, instead of reading a whole article.
Exactly. Imagine getting your news summarized by an AI that can cut through the noise and highlight the most important points. It could be incredibly powerful.
It could also be incredibly dangerous, right? What if I only get one side of this story?
That's a valid concern, and it's something we definitely need to be thinking about as these technologies become more sophisticated. Who gets to decide what's important or truthful when it comes to the news we consume? These are big questions that XAI and the AI field in general will have to grapple with.
And it's not just about news, right? GROC's search capabilities could have a major impact on how we find information online. Imagine an AI that understands your intent and can pull up the most relevant results even if you don't use the perfect keywords.
It's like having a personal research assistant at your fingertips. But again, it raises questions about control and bias. Who decides what information gets prioritized? And how do we ensure that these AI systems don't just reinforce our existing biases? These are challenges that XAI will have to address if they want GROC to be truly groundbreaking.
And speaking of challenges, it seems like XAI isn't just battling the big tech companies. They're also facing some legal issues with OpenAI. Apparently, there's some bad blood between Musk and his former company.
Yeah, there's definitely some history there. Musk co-founded OpenAI back in 2015, but he left in 2018. And there have been some public disagreements since then. Now he's accusing OpenAI of basically using their close relationship with Microsoft to gain an unfair advantage. And he's also claiming they misused some of XAI's technology. It's getting pretty messy, and it shows just how competitive the AI landscape is right now.
This legal battle is just one piece of the puzzle, though. What really caught my eye was the article's mention of Musk's plan to use data from his other companies, Tesla and SpaceX, to train XAI's models. Now, that's a game changer.
Absolutely. Access to that kind of real-world data from self-driving cars and space exploration could give XAI a huge advantage in terms of developing advanced AI systems.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground already. We've talked about XAI's massive funding, their ambitious goals, their chatbot GROC, the rivalry with OpenAI, and the potential of using data from Tesla and SpaceX. What else is there?
Well, the article also hints at XAI's plans to expand their infrastructure, including building a new data center with serious computing power. It seems like they're going all in on this AI venture.
It's clear that XAI is making some bold moves and shaking things up in the AI world. But what does it all mean for the future of AI, and how might it impact our lives? We'll dive deeper into those questions in part 2 of our deep dive right after this.
That's right, Larry. We'll be back in a flash to explore the broader implications of XAI's ambitions and the ethical considerations surrounding their approach. So stay tuned.
Don't go anywhere. Okay, so we're back, and I'm still thinking about this whole thing with Musk using data from Tesla and SpaceX to train XAI's models. That just feels massive, you know? Like, what could that actually lead to?
It's definitely one of XAI's most intriguing advantages. Imagine training an AI on data from millions of miles driven by Tesla's autopilot system. That's a treasure trove of information about real-world navigation decision-making and even human behavior behind the wheel.
And then there's SpaceX. Training an AI on data from space exploration. That's like straight out of science fiction. What kind of insights could you even glean from that?
It could lead to breakthroughs in areas like autonomous navigation robotics, even understanding complex systems and solving problems in extreme environments. And let's not forget the potential for scientific discovery. An AI trained on SpaceX data could help us analyze astronomical observations, identify new celestial objects, or even simulate the evolution of the universe. The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, I'm getting a little carried away here, but it's hard not to write. But back to this legal battle with OpenAI. You mentioned some bad blood between Musk and his former company. What's the deal there?
Well, it's a bit of a complicated history. You see, Musk co-founded OpenAI back in 2015 with the goal of developing AI safely and ethically. But he left the organization in 2018, citing disagreements over its direction.
So like creative differences.
Kind of. He felt that OpenAI was becoming too commercially focused, and he was worried about potential conflicts of interest with Tesla's AI development.
So he essentially helped create this AI powerhouse, and now he's competing with it. That's got to be a bit awkward.
You could say that. And Musk hasn't been shy about criticizing OpenAI since his departure. He's accused them of straying from their original mission and becoming too beholden to their investors, particularly Microsoft. He claims they've prioritized profits over safety and ethics, which is a pretty serious accusation.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about some potentially world-changing technology here. If these companies aren't prioritizing safety and ethics, that's a big deal.
Absolutely. And that's why this whole rivalry between XAI and OpenAI is so fascinating. It's not just about who builds the most powerful AI, it's about the values and principles that guide the development of this technology.
But isn't there a risk that all this rivalry stuff could distract from the bigger picture? I mean, while Musk and OpenAI are battling it out, other companies are making strides in AI as well.
You're right, Larry. The AI landscape is incredibly dynamic, and it's not just a two-horse race. Companies like Google, Microsoft, and Anthropic are all pouring resources into AI research and development, and they're all coming at it with their own unique perspectives and approaches.
So how do we even begin to make sense of this rapidly evolving landscape? What should we be paying attention to as this technology keeps advancing?
I think one of the most important things is to stay informed and engage in critical thinking. It's easy to get caught up in the hype surrounding AI, but we need to be asking tough questions about the potential benefits and risks of this technology.
Yeah, like how will AI impact our jobs, our privacy, our relationships? And who gets to decide how this technology is developed and used?
Exactly. These are complex issues and there are no easy answers. But the more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
This whole conversation has been incredibly eye-opening.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize that AI isn't just some futuristic concept. It's already shaping our world in profound ways.
Absolutely. And it's only going to become more pervasive in the years to come.
Okay, I think we've done a pretty good job of unpacking this XAI situation, haven't we? We've covered their funding, their chatbot, their rivals, their plans, and even some of the broader implications of their work.
Yeah, I think we hit all the major points. But you know, something's been bugging me a little throughout this whole discussion.
What's that?
We've talked a lot about XAI's ambitions, their technology and their potential impact. But what about the people behind it all? I mean, we keep mentioning Musk, but who else is working at XAI? What are their backgrounds or motivations?
That's a great point. We've been so focused on the big picture that we haven't really considered the human element.
Right. Who are the engineers, the researchers, the data scientists who are actually building this technology? What are their hopes and fears? What keeps them up at night?
I think those are questions worth exploring. It's easy to forget that AI isn't just about algorithms and data. It's ultimately about people. It's about the choices we make, the values we prioritize, and the impact we have on each other.
And those choices, those values, they're reflected in the technology we create. So if we want to understand the future of AI, we need to understand the people who are shaping it.
You know, that's a great segue into the last part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about XAI, but let's zoom out a bit and look at the broader trends shaping the AI landscape. What are the other big players doing, and how might their work impact our lives in the years to come?
I'm game. Let's dive into that next.
Okay, so we've spent a good chunk of time talking about XAI, their big plans, and their even bigger funding. But as we were just saying, they're not the only game in town. Where else is the AI world headed?
Yeah, it does feel like AI is popping up everywhere you look these days. I mean, we've got chatbots, self-driving cars, algorithms that seem to know what I want before I do. It's like to keep up with.
It can feel like we're on this runaway train and nobody's quite sure where it's going.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of exciting, right?
Yeah.
We're witnessing a technological revolution in real time. And it's not just about the tech giants anymore.
You're right. One of the biggest trends right now is how AI tools and resources are becoming more accessible. It's not just for companies with billions to throw around.
It's good, right? More access for everyone.
Exactly. There are open source platforms, cloud-based services, all kinds of things that make it easier for smaller companies, startups, and even just individuals to experiment with AI and build their own applications.
Like what kind of applications are we talking about?
Oh, where do I even begin? We're seeing AI being used in healthcare to diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately. It's helping personalize education making, learning more engaging and effective. It's even being used in creative fields like music and art. I mean, there's an AI out there that can compose a symphony or paint a portrait that's practically indistinguishable from a human artist.
Hold on, AI art, like actual paintings.
Yep, you heard that right. There's this whole genre of AI art emerging, and some of it is truly stunning. It's sparking all sorts of debates about creativity, authorship, and what it means to be an artist in the age of AI.
Whoa, I had no idea. It sounds like AI is not just changing how we work and live, it's changing how we think about ourselves.
Yeah.
What else is on the horizon? What are the big things to watch out for in the next few years?
Well, aside from the ethical considerations we've touched on, there are some practical challenges that AI developers are still working to overcome. One of the biggest is data bias. You see, AI models learn from the data they're trained on, and if that data is biased, reflecting the prejudices or blind spots of the people who collected it, the AI will inherit those biases.
That makes sense. So like if you train an AI on a data set of mostly male faces, it might have trouble recognizing female faces later on.
Exactly, and that's a relatively simple example. The potential for bias in AI is much broader and more subtle than that. It can impact everything from hiring decisions to loan approvals to criminal justice outcomes, and that's why it's so crucial for AI developers to be mindful of data bias and work to mitigate it.
So data bias is one challenge. What else?
Another big one is explainability. As AI systems become more complex, it gets harder to understand how they're making their decisions.
Like they're just doing their own thing.
Kind of this lack of transparency can be a real problem, especially in areas like healthcare or finance, where the stakes are high and people need to be able to trust the system.
It's almost like the AI is a black box and we're just supposed to trust that it's doing the right thing, but that's not really how trust works, is it?
Nope, and that's why researchers are working on ways to make AI more transparent and interpretable. They're developing tools that allow us to peer inside the black box, so to speak, and understand how the AI is arriving at its conclusions.
That's reassuring to hear. But even with those challenges, it seems like AI is poised to transform pretty much every aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
How do you even begin to prepare for that?
It's true. The future with AI is both exciting and a bit daunting. I think the most important thing is to stay informed and engaged, learn about how AI works, think critically about its potential benefits and risks, and be part of the conversation about how we want to shape this technology.
Well said. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this topic, but hopefully our deep dive into XAI and the wider world of artificial intelligence has given you some food for thought. And if you're as fascinated by this stuff as we are, make sure you subscribe to AI Hub for more deep dives into the ever-evolving world of artificial intelligence. We'll keep you updated on the latest trends, breakthroughs, and ethical considerations as AI continues to reshape our world. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next time.
Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.